talk a little bit about what you're seeing in the world at this point in time. It is volatile, that would be an understatement, and there are many things that are impacting the way that consumers spend. Inflation hopefully is starting to taper down globally as well. What are some of the opportunities as well as some of the global risks that you're factoring into business?
Yeah, it's a dynamic time. So much so, I would say, change on its own is a big disruption. We talk a lot about the AI revolution, but change its own. And for me, I would actually respond to that more in terms of leadership. The biggest thing we need, companies are people. So what we need in addition...
And consumers are people.
And consumers are people. And in fact, you know, when I think about what's important for us in business is to remember that. Because we often think about people as consumers and not always as humans. So they're humans that buy our products, that we earn that purchase through, and they're humans that make up our business. So people are at the core. So as we think about disruption, we have to think about people. Us as business leaders, how we arm ourselves to be fit in this agile, dynamic journey. So much is changing around us. We have to keep ourselves fit, fueled, inspired, educated to deal with the changes and understand the changes that people who consume our products will go through. And look at that as opportunity. Opportunity for innovation. Look at that as opportunity for our businesses through technology. So when you ask about dynamic times, the most important thing for me in that is people capacity.
Speaking about being fit, fueled and inspired, Esi, you know, what does it take for you to be able to do that? I mean, is there a mantra that you follow to stay fit, fueled and inspired?
Oh, that's so interesting. It's a good question. I think about, I have a range of leadership principles. One of them is manage your energy, not your time, because time is finite, energy grows. So what I try to do in my life is invest time and effort in the areas that I get energy from. Mm-hmm. So people often say to me, Esi, how do you do all those things? I mentor a lot. I'm passionate about so many things. What I do is get more energy from the things I do than I give. My visit here to India, upon your invitation, brings me energy instead of adding an energy. So when you ask about a mantra, it's setting up my life so that I'm fueled by the things that I do to manage my energy so that it grows instead of limiting. And that keeps me fueled, inspired, and energized.
Well, thank you for adding that. I think that's a wonderful mantra. Manage your energy, not just your time. I think that is something that I'm certainly going to take back away from this conversation, Esi. But I want to understand from you, and I know that you're a big champion of this, ensuring that companies like yours and the brands that you work with become more accessible, not just to consumers, but also become much more inclusive. As you look at category creation today, from an impact point of view, from an inclusion point of view, do you believe that those are going to be some of the critical pillars that will drive growth as well as brand creation? Unequivocally,
yes. When I think about equity and inclusion, there's so many reasons that's important. And I always start first with what's happening in the world. We started first with trends. One of the demographic shifts is we think about the next billion and a half people that come in the world, that where that growth is going to come from. It's going to come from Africa and Asia. We see the shifts in immigration. There is more diversity in the world, growing than ever before, and people are more demanding for authenticity, self-expression, and identity than ever before. People don't want to be put in a box. Some of that is because of social media, where people are finding people like them in their tribes that they want to express themselves to. So diversity and understanding people and our uniqueness and all of that difference, if it is how we show up in our beauty needs, having a more textured hair like mine, melanin skin with different needs is super important. And our ability to understand that is essential for our growth. So that means in business, we have to create and attract the same diversity of people. Throughout my career, the 30 years I've been in business, I've seen the power of that. I've seen the power of that on brands and businesses. We see that at Unilever. We see success from making products for textured hair. We see that in our brands Dove, our brand Shea Moisture, and many more. We see the success in managing different skin types on body. We see that in our brands Dove. We see that on Vaseline. So equity and inclusion are good business overall, and as was just discussed on the earlier panel, good for society. Because we often see when people underserved have needs met and join the workforce, it drives consumption and it impacts society.
Esi, you spoke about one of the big mega trends, and I'll end by asking you about that, the wellness trend, the live better trend. How much of that is likely to drive innovation for Unilever, in the next decade or further?
It has already significantly driven innovation for Unilever, the wellness revolution. I will say in 2020, the global well-being market was about 4.4 trillion euro. In 2024, it is about 7 trillion euro. That's in a 3-year period. We acquired a business called Liquid IV. I don't know how many of you here are familiar with that.
I know about Liquid IV, yes.
Liquid IV is a supplement that you add to water for superior hydration. It gives 3 times the hydration of water. It's used for a number of reasons. Some adults like to use it after they've had a lot to drink to avoid a hangover, but athletes use it, children use it. In fact, women disproportionately use it. When we acquired that business, since then, we acquired it in 2020, the business of Liquid IV is more than 4 times its size in 4 years. So it is slated to be our next billion-euro brand. So it has already significantly driven our business. That's one example. We have so many more. Here in India, how we've extended Horlicks. There are examples around the world. So not only will it contribute to our growth, it has contributed to the growth. And the trend is living better longer. So even in living better, we have so much more in the aging revolution as a part of the wellness revolution.
So, Esi, finally, 2025, how confident do you feel about the year, and how confident do you feel about India's role as far as Unilever's strategy is concerned in 2025?
Yeah, there's 2 things that you said that I'll use as a foundation of answering that. One is India's role in our growth is critical and significant, and that will continue in 2025. The second thing is how dynamic the world is. I am confident we will experience headwinds, but I'm also confident in our continued growth, and that our growth will come from volume-led growth, from penetration, offering superior value through our brands across the whole brand experience, and continuing to earn a premium. And we will face headwinds and overcome those challenges as we deliver continued growth.
Esi, it's been an absolute pleasure. Ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for Esi for joining us here at the Global Leadership Summit, for sharing your business as well as your life mantras with us. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.